tables. 3 times table. We know what the multiplication is. Multiplication is adding the same number again and again. We can add the numbers as many times as we want. But it is too difficult for the bigger numbers. So we use tables. Let us see how to create the 3 times table. To create the 3 times table, we take a group of 3 things each time. How many groups do we have? 1. That is 1 times 3. We write it as 1 multiplied by 3, which is 3. We read it as 1 threes are 3. How many groups do we have? 2. That is 2 times 3. We write it as 2 multiplied by 3, which is 6. We read it as 2 threes are 6. How many groups do we have? 3. That is 3 times 3. We write it as 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. We read it as 3 threes are 9. How many groups do we have? 4. That is 4 times 3. We write it as 4 multiplied by 3, which is 12. We read it as 4 threes are 12. How many groups do we have? 5. That is 5 times 3. We write it as 5 multiplied by 3, which is 15. We read it as 5 threes are 15. How many groups do we have? 6. That is 6 times 3. We write it as 6 multiplied by 3, which is 18. We read it as 6 threes are 18. How many groups do we have? 7. That is 7 times 3. We write it as 7 multiplied by 3, which is 21. We read it as 7 threes are 21. How many groups do we have? 8. That is 8 times 3. We write it as 8 multiplied by 3, which is 24. We read it as 8 threes are 24. How many groups do we have? 9. That is 9 times 3. We write it as 9 multiplied by 3, which is 27. We read it as 9 threes are 27. How many groups do we have? 10. That is 10 times 3. We write it as 10 multiplied by 3, which is 30. We read it as 10 threes are 30. Let's revise the 3 times table. 1 multiplied by 3 is equal to 3. 1 threes are 3. 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 6. 2 threes are 6. 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 9. 3 threes are 9. 4 multiplied by 3 is equal to 12. 4 threes are 12. 5 multiplied by 3 is equal to 15. 5 threes are 15. 6 multiplied by 3 is equal to 18. 6 threes are 18. 7 multiplied by 3 is equal to 21. 7 threes are 21. 8 multiplied by 3 is equal to 24. 8 threes are 24. 9 multiplied by 3 is equal to 27. 9 threes are 27. 10 multiplied by 3 is equal to 30. 10 threes are 30.